Quick disclaimer here, trading is very risky and carries a level of risk. Anything said here is not a financial advice. Make sure you trade with money you can only afford to lose. Any investment decision you make should be determined with reference to specific information available for such investments. Stay safe. Yo, how is it going, everyone? Beautiful Saturday over here. This is the voice of TRADEWITHWORLDBANK. Today, we are going to be looking at what we stopped last week on our favorite pairs Euro USD, Euro CHF, and then GBP JPY. Firstly, we are going to be looking at Euro CHF and where we stopped last week and what we were expecting. So, if you missed last week's video and then you want to go back to it, it's going to pop up in a second, so you can go back and refer to it and watch it and learn a thing or two before coming to watch this video. Last week we stopped somewhere over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, this was our supply zones we drew out, expecting markets to sell and react from there. As you can see, we got a nice selling reaction from that supply zone. My replay tool has expired. If not, I would have gone back in time, but nonetheless, probably next week we'll be up and running again. And yeah, so we got all these reaction throughout the last week, and it was a very beautiful price action. Okay, looking at this 1 hour change of character over here, I'll call it a change of character because it's the first break of structure after the strong downtrend. You can see it's a very strong downtrend. The weekly is trending. Remember, the Euro CHF weekly time frame is trending downtrend. Yeah, and then we're just following the order flow on the 1 hour time frame. So beautifully, we had this change of character first on the 1 hour time frame. Then secondly, we had the break of structure above. Okay, so now this is trying to signify to us that probably this trend is trying to shift to an uptrend, but nonetheless, let's see the price action we're going to get as the reaction of all these demand levels, because it's still a very strong downtrend, and we have some supply zones that have not been touched at all. Imbalance is still there, and then those are some beautiful signs that probably is just a little change in trend to touch these supply zones and then continue sell. So these are still the supply zones I'm looking to sell from. They are still very valid supply zones. Looking at this supply zone also here, let's check the 5-minute time frame for entry. So we would have seen how we could have entered that supply zone over there if you were paying attention to my analysis and the like. So we had the touch after the Asian session, yes. So we had this break of structure here, and this will be our first supply zone, right? But this one didn't get mitigated, but let's leave it that way. Then this will be the second supply zone, this one over here. And did it get mitigated? No, it didn't get mitigated at all before it started dropping. So it didn't drop to the demand zone we have expected it to drop to, but nonetheless, that has already moved from it has already moved away from the supply zone. So we'll be looking forward to the next supply zone over here, which is going to be this one. I'll be expecting some kind of reactions that I'll always want to see, probably to touch this demand over here, then come to this supply zone, give me the kind of reaction I want to see, change of trend, and probably if it is going to be a wyckoff kind of movement, I want to see the complete wyckoff movement, liquidity grab, and then the distribution signs on the charts. Okay, so that is the only thing I want to see on that supply zone before taking any trading decisions. Okay, yeah, so we have a beautiful demand zone over there. Now you can see this trend is stylishly changing to the upside, right? So it's kind of shifting the structure now. Looking at this, it has broken the structure probably like this, and then it just catapults to the upside. But nonetheless, let's still see what's going to happen over here. Yeah, so this is what we have here right now. What I'm expecting, yeah, like I said, I was a little bit distracted. Sorry about that. I was expecting probably this little trend movement here is going to be what to catapult us to the upside, but nonetheless, we've not known about that yet. But that will be successfully after we've broken out from these supply zones here. Let's check the supply zones on the 4-hour time frame. Now you can see the change in the 4-hour time frame also. It's a very, very bullish trend, very, very bullish sign. Okay, but nonetheless, let's still see what we have over here. If we've broken out from all these supply zones, at least this will be the next supply zone to sell from. Probably just wants to give us a little retracement for the bigger trend. Okay, something like this. You know, when there's a downtrend, there's always lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. So probably what is happening right now is just the formation of the what of the lower highs. Okay, it's just trying to give us a lower highs. But you should know that inside this lower high also we have a what we call, like the smaller structure or the substructure, which is going to be the uptrend. So you can look for buying opportunities into what into the lower highs. And when it gets there, which is going to be the major supply zone, then you can what take your selling trades back to continue the overall bigger trend. You understand? So probably that's what is trying to happen over here right now. But nonetheless, we've not known, and we can't say that is what is exactly going to happen. But since we have some unmitigated supply zones, unmitigated, unfulfilled imbalance over here, I feel these supply zones might still hold. But I love this bullish trend I'm saying. It's very clean and it looks like a very, very clean uptrend setup. Okay, so this is what I'm expecting for Euro CHF next week. Just touch these demand zones and then give me reactions from this supply zone or this supply zone. Then we continue to sell back, or else we mitigate the extreme supply zone. So in terms of looking forward, mitigation into this supply zone, that means we're going to be looking for buying opportunities on its way up. Yeah, I have to be looking for demand zones into this supply zone, and then when it takes out that supply, it gives us our confirmation entry. We look for shorts, or else we continue taking buying trades. That will be that on Euro CHF. And next thing, I'll move to Euro USD. From last week, we still had the same setup here, and yeah, it's trying to shift in trend, just like Euro CHF too. That's because they are both Euro pairs. Let's let's see what we have here. Let's go to the 4-hour time frame. Okay, it has mitigated the first 4-hour time frame, so I just think it wants to continue selling, because look at the huge reaction from this supply zone to current market price. That is 130 pips. And now let's look at the bullish moves so far. This is 119 pips, and this is 88 pips. So you can see the bullish moves are 119 pips, 88 pips, and where's the first bullish move? 101 pips. Now you can see 101 pips, 119 pips, and then 88 pips over here. But one touch of the supply zone, and then we have 133 pips. It means this supply zone is a very active supply zone, and markets might want to just continue selling from there. Since we got a beautiful reaction, look at that rejection, look at that reaction. So let's go to the daily time frame. Now you can see the rejection, clean rejection over here to the downside, closing bearish for the day. So it's a very, very huge sign that the sellers are still very, very powerful inside these markets. Signifying, giving us 103 pips is a very big sign that they're also still powerful. So, but let's see the 1-hour time frame and look for some things we can do inside the structure. Yeah, so I'll still be drawing it out like I've drawn out on Euro CHF. Almost the same structure, but this one's a little bit different right now. And we have a demand zone over here, but I doubt this is going to hold, because once the Asian session comes up, everything is going to scatter. Yeah, so I prefer this extreme zone. I prefer this extreme demand zone over here. And let's look at Euro CHF. You can see this one didn't touch any supply zone over here, and the reaction is very, very small compared to Euro USD. So this is what I'm expecting, touching this demand zone, or if it doesn't touch this demand zone, because I'm not expecting it to buy anytime soon, break out from this demand zone, continue selling, or touching this demand zone, mitigating us into the supply zone we have over here, and then the sell structure continues like that. So that is what I'm expecting on Euro USD. I'm expecting to continue selling. So these demand zones are just like helping mechanisms, okay, to retrace a little bit into the supply and then continue selling, following the overall structure. Let me draw the supply zone from there. Yeah, that's the supply zone. We can refine it on the 30-minute time frame because it's too wide, and just use half of the zone, something like this. Yeah, so let's go back to the 1 hour time frame. But nonetheless, if market has reacted from the open of this candle, then you know it might just continue selling and not mitigate the refined area. So you should note that that is a disadvantage of refining. Market might not mitigate your refined zone, but just mitigates the open and then continue with journey to the downside. We have lots of liquidity here, though the market might, use, but still, I really don't think this demand zone should hold so hard, since we've mitigated the supply zone and then give us a sharp reaction. You understand? Let's check the 3 minutes time frame now. I doubt there will be any um, sell confirmation entry. You can see just tapped in and sold immediately. So let's move to the next pair, which is going to be the last pair over here, GBP JPY. Okay, yeah, GBP JPY. Last week where we stopped, I was looking at this supply and then probably to tap into this demand and use this supply to continue what? To continue the overall trend, which is a downtrend. Let's quickly go back to the weekly. Okay, now you can see the weekly is full of wicks. We have a lot of rejections, and it might just continue selling like that into this demand zone. Remember, this is the target. If GBP JPY is going to sell, this is going to be the target. Okay, this is going to be the target. Yeah, I think that is what we have on GBP JPY on the weekly time frame. Let's look at the daily. You can see daily is very sluggish and it's more like in a range. Okay, let's move to the 4-hour time frame. This is the weekly demand zone I was talking about. Now let's look at the 4-hour time frame. You can see it's still very, very in a deep range, in a wide range. And yeah, so our zones are still active, liquidity below, liquidity above, since it's in a ranging market. I'll be expecting to tap into this supply or into this demand before I make any decisions to take a buy or sell over here. You can see there's a lot of spikes, there's a lot of wicks. So I really don't like the price action inside this zone. Okay, so let's move to volatility index. I'll just be analyzing one volatility index pair, and then okay, let's look at volatility 75 1S index. I'll be looking at 3 pairs, 75, 1S, and probably 100 index. Looking at volatility 75 1S index, still very bullish. There's a demand zone over there. I took a buy somewhere here, the one I posted on my WhatsApp status. Yeah, from that fresh demand zone, took the buy. Let me even see the trade I took. Let me see the risk to reward. Okay, so I took a buy from here. Yeah, that's sniper zone, and my stop loss was below there, and my TP was around there. Okay, so you can see 1:7 sharp. That is a 1:7 trade. Very, very nice and beautiful setup over there. Now the next setup I'm expecting is over here. That's next demand zone, because now it's creating something we all know as what? Liquidity, and we know that price should drive away from liquidity, grab liquidity, and move in our direction. Okay, This is what I'm expecting since the other flow over here is very, very bullish. Let me save my templates so it wouldn't so that it wouldn't disappear. And then next week we'll come back and check what we have. So the next pair is volatility 75 index. I really don't like 75 index again because it always spikes and gives some crazy reactions as point of interest. But let's be looking at it. Okay, let's look at what we have over here. This is volatility 75 index. Look at the price action. Very bearish order flow. Let's move to the 1 hour time frame. Okay, so moving to the 1 hour time frame, we said it was bearish, and yeah, so the price action in front of me right now is kind of in a range. This 1 hour time frame is not so clean, but I'm trying to pull out everything I can see here. As with the 75 index. Okay, I wanted to take a sell here yesterday, but I didn't get the confirmation entry before I slept off. Okay, now since we mitigated this demand over here, looks like a demand zone is here. Then there's also a demand zone here, right? But that week has mitigated, so I'll just take that off. Okay, because I want to see something so clear and vivid. So we had this touch of a demand, and then we have a new demand, untouched demand over here. Okay, this is a fresh demand zone we'll be looking to buy from on volatility 75 index. We've gotten multiple break of structures. You can see there's break of structure over here to the upside. So nothing to um, fear. If we get the confirmation entry, then we'll look for buying opportunities and go to the upside. Now volatility, because most people always ask if SMC works with volatility 75 volatility indices, and then it works very well. It even works more than currency. Actually, I just stopped trading volatility index because analyzing on volatility index is not always very sweet. So this is another pair, volatility 10-1S index. I also love this pair so much. Okay, we are very, very bullish right now. And let's go back to the 1 hour time frame because I feel like I missed a buy over here. Okay, I'll stop in the next 3 minutes. Okay, I was looking at this demand zone from yesterday, but it didn't tap me in. Okay, now this is the next demand zone, right? But it even broke. Yes, it broke out, and I was expecting that okay, market will then touch this my next demand zone and boom. You can see how it just left me unawares. So let me go to my 15 minutes time frame to see what kind of price action happened over here. Okay, like a W pattern, and then it went up. Okay, very nice, but I was not looking for a buy again since it broke out uh, of the demand zone. Then the next pair is, which is going to be the last pair. So what am I expecting on volatility 10-1S index? Nothing much, but expecting it to come to this demand again and go up from there. So in the process of coming into this demand zone, you can look for counter trend trades. Okay, since we have a demand and price should probably come into this 1 hour demand over here, you can wait for counter trend trades. Yeah, like a break of structure from here, then you wait for a mitigation. So this break of structure will be change of character, then you wait for a break of structure, probably this low. This is going to be the break of structure, and then you are going to be looking for your entry somewhere here into this demand zone, and then you can take your profit over here. You can take your profit over here and then look for buying opportunities to the upside again. But this, if you are not used to this, you really don't need to try it out. Okay, if you are not used to this, you don't really need to try it out. So how do I delete all this now? The last pair we are going to be looking at is Volatility 100 index. Volatility 100 index. Let's go to the 1 hour time frame. Okay, almost the same price action as 10-1s. This a buy from here at midnight. Next demand over here. Yeah, coming down from the supply. Nice supply. Then I'll be looking for my entries over the small time frames. Like this. I have a new supply zone over here and I'll wait for it. Okay. I'll be waiting for a touch into the supply. Ouch, 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 ouch. Okay, I'm waiting for a breakout, a touch into the supply, and probably my entry will be somewhere here, but at least a more confirmed entry, like a confirmation entry to take the real sell into this demand zone and then continue taking buys, looking for buy confirmation from the demand. I believe you all get the gist now. So that is one that's for that is 100 index. Let's see how it's gonna play out next week. Okay. If you have any questions so far, please let me know. Hit the like button if you've been enjoying my content so far. Hit the subscribe button if you are new to this channel. If you have any questions or comments, you can always feel free to ask me in the comment section. Always remember, my mentorship is a lifetime access, one-time payment, 100 USD. If you are interested, let me know. Peace, guys. See you in the next video. I'm out.